everybody, and welcome to episode number 4 of Lockdown Cooking here from Argasi in Zakynthos. Big hello to everybody that's writing the comments. I'm sorry we're a little late, but we're here now. And so I'm going to start off by, say hello first. Sorry.
Hello everybody.
Taking over the talking as I usually do. So a big hello to Andy, to Michelle, to Mel, Ross, Alison, Maggie, Valerie, Phil, Jean, Mary, Theo. Hello Theo. Put the picture of the nice juicy tomatoes on earlier. Is that it? Is that everybody that's written a comment? Yes, alright. Oh, and Sarah and Kate as well from Northern Ireland. Big hello to you all. And today we're going to be making stuffed tomatoes. And Penny. Hello Penny. Thanks for joining. Stuffed tomatoes and tzatziki. So, Mother, would you talk us through how you're going to...
Okay, so first of all, we're going to start with browning, just lightly roasting the pine nuts. Pine nuts are optional in stuffed tomatoes, but since we like them, we're going to use them today. And it's going to be Alex's job, so there you go, Alex.
Okay.
Okay, so they're going into the pan, quite a hot pan, with no oil. Because they have their own oil in them, they need just a few minutes till they begin to get some colour, and that's it, they're ready.
Okay.
And while Alex is doing that, I'm going to chop up the onion, which we'll need for the base for our tomato filling.
So whilst we've got the onion, and then over here we've got the tomatoes that we're going to be using, and eggplant, peppers.
We're probably not going to use yet. I think we're just going to do the
Tomatoes and peppers.
yeah.
And then some potatoes
And then
that
like
we're going to be using. Can't I
Get
do
it right, Alex.
Can't I do anything right? So yes, it's been.
Are they brown?
Are they
brown?
brown? Are they brown? What do you think?
Oh, a minute more.
A minute more. It's been another very slow week here in Argasi. Not too much going on, but thank goodness we've got really, really nice weather, and we can enjoy nature and the mountains. And we've made a video of a few of the stuff that we got up to during the week that we'll show in between the stuffed tomatoes and the tzatziki. Yes. I know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just want to pop them in there.
We're going everywhere.
It's all right. Sure, the birds will eat them later.
All right.
Okay, so you can get rid of that pan and put this one on, please.
Yes. There we go. All right.
If you'd like to put some oil in the pan.
Yes. Yeah, I can hardly keep up with you.
No. You've been doing my head in all morning, haven't you? So today, while I was trying to cook artichokes for lunch, Alex decided we've got a whole bucket full of whatever they're called. In Greek, they're called nespelas or mespelas.
Medlars.
Medlars, okay. In English, they're called medlars or loquat. I think there seems to be a bit of controversy about what they're actually called. But anyway, they're kind of like furry orange things that taste a bit like a cross between an apricot and a plum. And they're quite nice. But Alex picked about quite a lot of them, a whole bucket full of them. And decided we were going to cook them this morning. So this morning we made, what did we make? We made nespala jelly, nespala, some kind of like paste thing, like a quince paste, and what else? Oh, liqueur, and a liqueur as well. Yeah. So that was my morning, and now here we are cooking again.
So terrible.
Yeah.
What would you do if you weren't here, eh? You'd be complaining and you'd be bored and, you know. So just be happy about it. And think about it, every year we've had these fruits and all they do is fall off the tree and we don't use them, so this year since we've got the time, we thought we might as well do the most with it.
Would you like to tell everybody about the lovely soup you made last night as well, Alex?
Well, let's say hello to Valerie and hello to Taru from Finland and the Devlin family and Andy and Linda, Moya, hello Moya, Caroline, Elizabeth, Dagmara, Steve. Okay, is that everybody? I think so. Yeah, all right. Okay. Oh, I have to turn it up a little bit.
It's a medium heat, you don't want to burn them.
Yeah.
I think we've got enough in there.
So why don't you talk about the dish a little bit? Tell us a bit more about the dish and what we're doing and everything.
Okay, so this is probably more of a summer dish, spring summer dish. It's one of my favourite dishes. You can make it the way we're making it, or you can make it a slightly different way. The way we're doing it, we're going to be frying the onions, then garlic, then we will prepare the tomatoes, and the filling of the tomatoes we chop up a little bit, put in the pan with a little bit of water, also parsley, the pine nuts if you like. Also we have Zakinthian raisins here.
Currants.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Okay, so these again are optional. Not my favourite.
Yeah, they're really nice.
But they
honestly.
do make
they
a
are
difference
really good.
to it. Yeah.
The whole thing is that you know with tomatoes you put in a little bit of sugar, don't you? Like it says in the recipe. And the reason you do that is to kill the acidity and bring out the sweetness of the tomato. So the currants naturally complement what we're doing, I think. Yeah. So I'm chopping the garlic.
Yeah, chop the garlic, please.
All
Yeah.
right.
So like I say, well, there's two ways of making the filling for the tomatoes. One way is frying the ingredients for the filling first. The other way, you can just do all the ingredients, mix them up in a bowl without frying them. The difference is, I think it makes a slightly lighter dish if you don't fry them. But if you do fry them, it gives extra flavour. So I always stick with the frying version because while the onions are softening, it takes about 10-15 minutes if you leave them on a nice low heat. So while that's going on, then you can prepare the tomatoes, so you're not really wasting any time. It's sort of like a continuous process. Okay, so when our filling's done, like I said, we're using tomatoes and peppers today. You could also use aubergines, courgettes, Mariana, I think stuffed onions, potatoes, anything you like really, whatever you've got in your cupboard. It's a really good dish to serve at kind of like room temperature. Like most of these dishes, it doesn't really, if you eat it very, very hot, the taste doesn't develop. So yeah, better at room temperature. And always good with tzatziki, so we'll be making tzatziki at the end of it.
Okay, so we've done the garlic, and now we're going to chop the tomatoes while we're waiting for the onions to soften. Soften. Where are we? Oh. Hello to Chris and Joe. Hello, Joe. Hope you're all right, man. Thank you very, very much for watching, Joe. We follow Joe on YouTube as well. He's our cousin, my mother's nephew over there in London. Hello to Chris, who said yes, and Alison is saying, "Where's my sister Ruth today?" Big hello to Ruth. Hope you're getting ready for your next quiz when you guys come over.
Are you going to be doing an online quiz, Ali?
Yes. Maybe. Let's see. What we're trying to do is get some of the acts that we have here in the summer to perform. Maybe the Black Cats, maybe the Flying Roosters, if we can get them together. Hello to Kjell from Sweden. Hello. And to Robin, that's my mum's father, my grandfather, that was supposed to be coming over here today, but as you all know, that's not happening. It's not able to happen. No. So before you continue with that, why don't we show a little bit how you did all this?
Okay.
Okay. Let's start from a new tomato.
Okay. So,
Okay.
getting rid of these really stalky bits. Doesn't want to remove, that's gone. It's gone. Okay. And then chop the top off, just so that you miss this bit here. We cut out the stalky bit from the middle because nobody wants to eat that. That's gone. Chop round the edges so it's easy to get the filling out. And take a spoon, and there you go, it all comes out nicely. Don't try doing it with little tomatoes or tomatoes that are too ripe, because there won't be much left by the time you've finished cooking. So here we are. You put your tomato that you've hollowed out and its lid side by side. There we go.
And we just continue to do the same
And then
with the
we'll
rest.
carry on with the rest of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll carry on doing that while
Okay.
Alex maybe
So now
tells you a little bit about our Easter celebrations.
Okay. Well, I think our onions is ready.
Okay,
So
so
put the garlic in.
There you go.
Oh. Okay. There we go. Lovely. Congratulations to Kev, he's just become a granddad.
Oh.
Wow, amazing. And he says he's off for a beer. Well, have a beer from us, Kev. Congratulations. Valerie May says, can we do sausage and chips next week? I'll bring the deep fryer from the kitchen, okay? We'll show you how we do it. Angela, big hello to Angela and Sarah in Macclesfield. Hello to Wendy, and she says she's definitely giving this a go. If you give it a go, and anyone that does it, please send us pictures. We love to see you, see your dishes. Hello Polly and Chris, it's our pleasure. So it's Easter in Greece this week, and because we are Orthodox in Greece, everything is about a week late normally. So what happens during Easter week? It's a big old celebration, and it does last pretty much all week, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And there's things going on every night, every day.
The big week.
Big week, yeah, that's what it's called. So it's a great time if, you know, in the future when things are back to normal, hopefully. It's a great time for anyone that wants to see, you know, a bit of a different side of the island to visit. Easter time is really great. So some of the things that go on are on Thursday, for example, which is today. We eat artichokes. It's the tradition. And we also dye eggs. Now, that doesn't sound very exciting, does it really?
It's tradition.
But there's things that go on, and there's a lot more normally that happens. There's parades going on in town, and bands playing, the Philharmonic plays in town, and lots of other things like that. Then on Friday, what do we do on Friday?
Friday in the evening,
Yes.
there's the Epitafio. And the
Oh yeah, that
Epitafio
explains it all. Do you know what epitafio is?
It's an icon, isn't it? It's a religious icon.
Yeah.
Usually some kind of like painting. And the birds are a bit noisy today, aren't they?
Getting attacked by swallows.
Yeah, so this Epitafio is taken out of the church and it's placed on some kind of, what would you call it? The thing that they carry the
Yeah, anyway,
Yeah.
they go parade around and a lot of people follow the priest as
Yeah,
he...
but before they do that, in the
says.
daytime, all the children from the church go and decorate the epitafio with flowers. It's really pretty, nice,
Yeah.
a nice tradition. And it takes, in Argosy, it's usually about 9 o'clock in the evening, isn't it? And then in Zante town, they do the midnight epitafio thing that goes around all night, don't they?
Yeah, then what you do is after that, people a lot of the time go to Zante town in the middle of the night and they smash clay pots at, I think it's like 3 or 4 in the morning, don't they? Maybe
Yeah,
later
you
than
got
that.
it wrong again.
What?
They start about midnight doing this with the Philharmonic Orchestra, don't they?
Yes.
And they take the icon thing out of the church, and then there's a brass band marches all the way around the town, followed by the epitafio and the priests and everybody, and it goes on till the sun comes up in the morning. And then as soon as the sun starts to come up, then they form a circle in the square, in St. Marcus Square in the town, and everybody stands there and they throw clay pots into the square and smash them. It's quite spectacular.
Yeah.
I mean, you went once when you were very young and you tried to kill somebody throwing every last pot that there was in there.
And then Saturday...
Sorry to interrupt
Oh, yes,
you, but
please,
you
go
need to
ahead.
put a bit of rice in there.
All right. So,
Okay. The amount of rice that you use, it's difficult to give an exact measurement. Alex is setting fire
go.
to the kitchen, sorry. Difficult to give exact measurements. I would say roughly 2 spoonfuls per tomato, depending on the size of them. I'm just going to pour some in here and see what happens. If you have too much at the end of cooking, it doesn't all fit in your tomatoes. You can actually put it around the tomatoes as well, and it'll cook in the liquid, so it's fine.
okay.
So I'm just going to put in what I think. Okay.
Right.
And that just needs stirring around so it's nicely coated.
Okay.
And once it's a couple of minutes, once it's just about coated, then we pour a little bit of water into it.
Okay.
While you're looking after that,
Yep.
I'll carry on with these.
Okay, do you need to cut any more?
Not sure, because you stole my baking tray.
Oh, yeah.
So I've got a different baking tray.
All right.
This one won't fit in my oven. I'm just using it for
Okay.
demonstration purposes. And we'll see how many we can fit in.
Yep.
Okay, so you're on Saturday now.
Yes. So Saturday, what we do is the godfathers have to go and buy a candle for the godchildren, and then at 12 o'clock, everyone gathers around the church of each village, and when the time goes to 12, the bells start to toll, and then we light our candles with holy light, kiss each other on the cheek twice,
Say Christos Anesti or something.
say Happy Easter, and then we go back home, and supposedly that we've done Lent the previous week. I don't, but a lot of people do. And then we go home at about 12:30 and start eating lots of meat. And then we go out and drink quite a lot normally. And then on Sunday, of course, is Easter Day. And we have the lamb or goat on the spit. And that goes on for hours and hours. And one other thing that we do is we smash the eggs, these eggs here. So we paint them red, and this is the game that we play. Take that, hold it like there. That means I won. And then you turn that one around, turn it around. And I won again. So
Looks like he gave me the bad
there we
idea.
go. So then this is the winner. and then you have to peel it and eat it, but you can do that later.
So Alex is
Yes.
turning your rice.
Yes.
Just put a little bit of water in there.
Okay.
Just a cup.
Is that it?
I think so, yeah.
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 There we go.
And
Okay.
this is the filling from the tomatoes.
Yeah.
It's very roughly chopped, and I'm going to put it in the pan here now.
Okay, very nice.
I don't know what your gas is doing.
There we
but
go,
you might
yeah,
want to
okay,
turn it up
okay,
a bit.
yeah.
Okay, and I'm going to chop up some parsley now to put in there.
Okay, I want to have a little look here. Gorgeous. So, say Russ says, my Cleftico worked out the treat. I'm really glad you enjoyed it, man.
Excellent.
Yeah, really glad you enjoyed it. It was quite hard work digging that hole, but it was it was definitely worth it in the end. Who else? Dan says that Joshua wants to know how we make the green frog burger.
Oh, we can do that one week.
The legendary greedy frog burger. Yeah, why not? We'll do that one week. It is pretty epic, man. Oh, Lars. Hello, Lars. Big hello to Sweden. Lots of love to you all. And Richard in Singapore. Big hello to Rich. And Kat. Hello, Kat. Who else? So we've got Sarah. And how much water, Steve says?
Just
to
so
cover,
you've got
isn't it?
like a wet mixture. Yeah,
Yeah.
just to cover, yeah.
Yeah, just, yeah.
Bearing in mind your rice is going to soak up quite a lot of this liquid. Probably, if I was to say, I'd say a glass of water, like a water glass.
Yeah. Oh, a big hello to Sonia as well. I have to keep looking out in case if Tizzy's with you, in case the tax man's anywhere. It's every time that he comes here, the
we get done by
bloody
the tax people.
the tax
don't
man
we?
turns up. So watch out.
Okay, so we need to put some seasoning into there now, don't
Smells gorgeous.
we? Okay, so move the water out of the way.
Oh,
Do you
hello.
want to do this?
Oh, sorry, you go ahead.
Okay, so putting cooking salt in, quite a bit because I like salt.
Yeah.
Oregano, not obligatory, but why not?
There it goes. Isn't it?
Yeah. Pepper. You could add chili flakes as well if you like, thyme, whatever you like.
They all work together,
Yeah, they all
don't they?
work. We'll throw the pine nuts in while that's bubbling away. We'll put some of these in, maybe not all of them, but okay.
Okay.
And if you pop the lid on.
Yeah, so this is where we are at the moment before we put the lid on. There we go. Okay.
Lovely. While that's cooking, we'll put wrong one. Sugar. Put sugar here. I'm going to put just a little bit of sugar inside each of the tomatoes. It counterbalances the acidity of the tomatoes and makes them just that little bit sweeter. So we don't need much, just a tiny bit in each one. Okay. So while that's doing,
Yes.
we
While
can-
that's doing.
cooking, whatever. I'm
Yeah.
going to chop up the potatoes,
Yes.
and then it's just a case of putting it together and leaving it in the oven.
And wish for the best.
And wish for the best.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So potatoes.
Potatoes.
So in the week, the video we're going to show in a little bit, we went up to the mountains here at the back of Argasi, and it's really, really beautiful up there. Hopefully next time when you get here, maybe ask us if you're not quite sure, but I really think it's worth going to check them out, because there's a lot to this place, just more than just the old strip down the road. You know, there's a lot of beautiful nature around here, a lot of history. The what do you call them? Aqueducts?
Yeah, Venetian aqueducts.
Venetian aqueducts.
Yeah.
Around the back of Argosy. It's beautiful to go and see. It's really, really nice. Especially, you know, if you've been here a few times and, you know, you want to see something a little bit different, then it's, and, you know, maybe you like a walk or something like that.
It's really lovely walking up there, isn't it?
It's lovely walking
You
up there.
can walk up there to Canelos, have a beer up there and carry on down into Kalamaki. And
That's where the church is, for those who don't know. Where the church is as you're walking down that way towards Zante town, then you turn left and then turn right, and you go up the mountains here, and yeah, you walk to the top, and there's a nice little canteen where you can sit and enjoy a beer after your big long walk, and, you know, look at the amazing view. And if you're feeling energetic still, like my mum said, you can walk down to Kalamaki, and then definitely I would get a taxi back.
no, you walk back.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Have another beer and then come
Yeah,
back.
that's what I think so. My God, no.
Okay.
All right, so this is all done now.
Yeah, that's all done, yeah.
So let's do a recap from the top. What
Okay.
did we do until now?
So, from the beginning, the pine nuts, if you're using, you'll need to brown them first,
Okay.
just slightly toast them.
Mm-hmm.
Then you need to put a little bit of oil in your pan. Fry the onions till they're on a medium to low heat, till they're kind of translucent. When they're done, it'll take you about 10 minutes. Then you'll add the chopped garlic.
Mm-hmm.
When that's done, that's about 2 minutes, no more than that, because garlic tends to burn quite easily if you're not careful. So you keep stirring that. Pour in your rice. Rice, I've not used the traditional rice, I've used long grain rice. The Carolina rice, the sort of medium grain rice, is the more traditional one. And it gives a slightly creamy texture, but I personally prefer the long grain rice, which is why I'm using that one. Okay, so we put the rice in, stir it round so it gets coated with the oil. Once it's lightly coated, then we pour in a little bit of water, and while the onions have been chopping, we've chopped up our tomatoes. The filling from the tomatoes we put in the pan with a little bit of parsley.
Shush birds.
Yeah. Add the seasoning, put the lid on and leave it for 10 minutes. Okay, so it's either that way, or the alternative way, like I said before, is you put everything in a bowl, stir it round with a little bit of olive oil and stuff your tomatoes.
Yep.
It doesn't take, time-wise, it doesn't make much difference which way you do it. It's always a little bit of a time-consuming job, but once it's done and you leave it in the oven, that's it really. You can put it in the oven and more or less forget about it.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Just quickly to say, if there's anything that you guys would like to see, any recipes that you want, or any dish that you want to see us cook or anything like that, please keep telling us in the comments section, and we'll do our best. If we can't cook it, then at least we can make a good recipe for you, so you can follow and hopefully replicate some of your favorite Greek dishes. And to say hello just quickly to Dawn, who says it's a nice walk to St. Nick's Beach too. It's a lovely walk, you're right.
it's a long walk.
It's a long walk, but it's very nice. Alison says she's frozen some of the Cleftico because it lasted her for ages otherwise.
Yeah.
Smart thing to do. Who else? Oh, I think that's it for now. Okay, so now what we're putting the potatoes back into
I think
yes.
Ideally that would go for a little bit longer, but
Okay.
let's just get on and do it
All
short
right.
because it won't be
All right,
too
all
much.
right. So we have a little close-up of what we're doing. Camera crew. All right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, so like I say, ideally we'd leave it just probably for a couple of minutes longer. But
All right.
That's fine. We can
Okay,
get on with
yeah,
that now.
let's do it.
So, would you like a spoon, Alex? There you go.
So what's the key with what we're doing now? Any tips, any secrets you want to tell people?
The only thing I'd say is be careful not to overfill the tomatoes. You need to fill them nearly up to the top, but just bear in mind the rice will swell up, and you don't want the contents bursting, the tomatoes splitting and bursting.
Yeah.
Okay. So
We had a cooking lesson, remember, at the beginning of the summer, with a lady and her family. It was 3 children, I think, she had with her.
Yeah.
And it was really, really great fun with all the kids, wasn't it? Making this dish,
they
they
did
were
their
filling it up.
own
So
things, didn't they?
that's why I'm saying it's like a great thing to prepare
Can't
with all the
slow down
family.
a minute.
Yes, go on.
I'm
Okay.
going to put them in this pot because this won't fit in the oven.
Okay.
So let's swap.
Yeah.
Another thing you can do, if you like, is to add a little bit of cheese to the tomatoes. It's quite a nice.
Yeah. Other people
flavour.
make it with mince meat as well, don't they?
Yeah. You can add the mincemeat when you add the rice. Just add the mincemeat straight away afterwards. And Alex, give me a little bit more, please.
Sorry.
A little bit more filling, please. Thank you. Yeah. Add the mincemeat at just after you put the rice in. Stir it all round, and it is really nice. The only thing I'd say is, since you're making a vegetarian, since it is so nice as a vegetarian dish, and we eat so much meat on the whole, it's quite nice just to keep this as it
Yeah, I
is,
think
really.
so. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so where are we doing with these?
There we go.
If we have some toothpicks handy, I would fix these lids on, so I'll fix them later, since I don't
Okay.
have any toothpicks handy.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go.
Is that everything stuffed?
Yeah.
And our lids will fix later. Okay, so, right, let's leave the lids there. So the potatoes, I'm just going to put in any spaces that I can find. You can chop them whichever way you like, but I think squares like this will cook quite easily. And then once all these are in, you'll find the level when it starts cooking. We need to season over the top. Oops. Make sure I've got salt and not sugar. Salt. Alex, that is salt in it. They look identical. Stick your finger in it. I'll put in oregano on.
Definitely salt.
Okay, put some salt on there. Okay, lovely. I'll do a bit of pepper.
Okay. Samantha says, I would love to see some stuffed vine leaves.
Oh, we were talking about doing that, weren't we?
The lovely lemon sauce.
Yeah.
We will do that definitely. And the good thing is that our one of our family members has a vineyard up in the mountains, so we can go and get some nice fresh vine leaves and do the whole thing from scratch. It's a lot easier to do from to buy ready ones, but since we've got it around us, we'll do it like that. And also love the stifado made on my Tuesday. Oh yeah, stifado.
Oh yeah.
Great dish.
Do that as well, can't
We
we?
can do that as
Good.
well. Yeah.
Okay. Looks like we're not
We've
going to
got
be
quite-
doing very much else this summer, are we? So yeah, it'd be good.
You don't know. We'll see anyway.
So the tray's almost ready. It's got the seasoning added. All that remains, it needs a little bit of liquid in the bottom of the pan. Not too much, because the tomatoes themselves are quite water, give off a lot of liquid. So probably, if we're doing measurements, that much. I don't know what that is. 2 millimeters,
Yeah.
something like that. Not very much anyway. So that's my liquid in the pan. And last but not least, olive oil, because you can't have a Greek dish without olive oil, really, can you? So here we go. You don't need to put as much olive oil as that in, but since we've got olive oil on tap here, we kind of use it perhaps a bit more generously than other people would. So that's your dish. The lids for the peppers I will be attaching with toothpicks when I get my toothpicks. We'll cover the tray with silver foil, and it will go in the oven on a high heat, around about 220 for 30 minutes. So that's a preheated oven, round about 220, and that is so that the temperature comes right up and the liquid in the tray here starts to steam, and that'll start the cooking process going. Once everything's reached the high temperature, we turn the oven down, and around about, depends on your oven, it kind of varies from house to house, I guess, but round about between 160 and 180. And you need to leave them for roughly an hour and a half, 2 hours in total. And then at the end, when you're nearly done, you take the foil off and leave them to brown. So like about half an hour for them to brown. All the instructions are in the recipe if I've not made anything clear at all. So we'll take this to our oven to cook, take a little break, and then we're off to make tzatziki.
Yeah, we'll send a picture of the finished dish later, as hopefully some of you will too. It looks really nice, doesn't it? Really nice and colourful, red and green and white and all that. Really nice. So now we're going to go over to a very quick video of some of the stuff we got up to during this week, and we'll get back to some of the comments that you've written. We'll talk about that, and then of course the tzatziki recipe too. Hello, so we're here in the hills of Argasi, and we're after these hyacinth plants, and once we dig them up, this is what you get underneath, and afterwards you can pickle them. You have to boil them a few times to get the bitter taste away, and they're not too bad tasting, but they're amazingly good for you. So this is a different side to Argasi. Alright, well hopefully you enjoyed that short clip there of some of the stuff that we got up to. We certainly have a lot of fun doing it, and there's not much else to do, so thank God we have nature around us. Let's talk a little bit about, we'll talk to you a little bit about the comments that you've written. Big hello to Kim and love going. She says she loves going around Zante on a bike. It's one of the best things. I love that too. What does Angela say there? Angela says, oh, she's talking to someone else. Okay. It's good that you've got all the interaction going on between you. Okay, and then we're going up a little bit. Samantha says that her mom grows vine leaves, but she hasn't mastered making wine yet. Okay. At least you can do something with the leaves as well. Yeah. And of course the grapes. And Sarah says, what about doing Nicoletta's childhood dish, which was prawn saganaki? Oh, yeah. We can make that, that's pretty easy to make. We can have a good recipe for that. And also we had a request for aubergine salad to make, meligiano salata, which is really, really nice. Yeah. And big hello to Sue. And Kim, yes, it is weird. Well, we don't know, we haven't, this is the thing about what's happening with the epidemic and all that. I think none of us can quite grasp it yet, and we will only begin to understand what's going on when, for example, like May comes along or June, and if, you know, there's hardly any people here, then that hasn't happened here since the 70s. And I think that's when we'll start to, you know, when it'll really start to sink in. That hopefully it'll all be over soon. And let's just say hello to Jane, and also if you could go up a little bit so I can see who we got. Oh, Ross said, well, what do you use the hyacinth in? So it's quite, I'll just say this quickly and then we'll get to the tzatziki. There's two types of hyacinth that grow here in Zakynthos. The other way that you could call it is muskari, or in Greek it's called, it's a little bit of a hard name, kourkouzelia. So there's the tame kind and the wild kind. They both grow in the wild, but for some reason they call one tame, one wild. So the wild kind, which was the one that we were picking there, you can eat the bulbs underneath, and you can't eat the flower. And then the tame kind, you can only eat the flower, and you can't eat the bulb. With the bulb, you pickle it, like you boil it a few times and you pickle it. And usually what we eat pickled things with is like the dish that we cooked the first time on the cooking show, which was like the spinach rice one. So anything that's like oily, it kind of breaks it up, so you have it on your table like with a lot of other things like your salad and your bread and everything else. So yeah, I think that's it. And and the tame ones you boil. That's it. It's very, very good for you. So let's get back to the tzatziki and then we'll talk a little bit more later on. Comments. So what will we need for tzatziki?
Okay, basically you need a cucumber.
Yes.
If you've got a carrot as well, a carrot will be good, but let's go with the cucumber for today. So I'll start off grating the cucumber into here. Okay, so we do it on the big side, the side that you grate cheese on generally. So I'll start off grating this. You don't need to peel the cucumber, you can if you want, but the skin is good for you, so we're not going to bother. Mm-hmm. Okay. So
the yogurt is full fat yogurt?
Yeah, yogurt's full fat, and it's the thick Greek yogurt that we're using. You try and make it with the runny yogurt.
And yeah, I'll just say, if Taro is watching in Finland, remember, not Turkish yogurt. Okay. Not Turkish yogurt, because me and Taru were in Finland and we went to a supermarket and I was going to make tzatziki for her family. And when I went to pick up the Greek yogurt, she said, don't you want to take the Turkish one? And I said, that's about the most insulting thing you could say to me. Like, what? And we had a big old argument about it, but now it's clear that in her house it is only ever going to be Greek yogurt from now on.
Okay, so grated the cucumber in here. If we'd had a carrot, would have been a carrot as well, but since we haven't.
It's just for colour, isn't it, really?
Yeah. You can also add radishes, you can do it with beetroot. There's lots and lots of different ways of doing tzatziki. And a couple of times this week we've made it without even any veggies in it. We've just done the yogurt with lemon or vinegar and olive oil and a bit of seasoning. It works. So if you'd like to put your glove on. It's your job to squish the cucumber. I had a bit of a garlic crisis. My garlic has gone missing.
Oh.
I can only find one clove. There is a whole clove of garlic here somewhere. I don't know where in the world it's gone. But okay, garlic crisis averted. Thank you. Lots of garlic now.
So we need to squeeze all the water out of the tzatziki, otherwise it'll be all runny and horrible. Squeeze as hard as you can. That's all right. Thank you.
There's an amazing amount of liquid comes out of there, isn't it?
We've had a few people drink that during the cooking classes.
Some people asked in the comments about putting mint in tzatziki.
Oh yeah.
I think every country has its variation of some kind of yogurty sauce or dip. In India, I know it's like Indian food. It's very traditional. They're raita with the mint mixed in with the yogurt. But in Greece, as far as I'm aware, it's not a traditional thing to add mint. But hey ho, we can do whatever we like, can't we?
Exactly.
So we're using, quantity-wise, we've used a whole cucumber. I've got 3 cloves of garlic here, which they're quite big, will make it quite strong. That's all good. And we've got 500 grams of yogurt that we're using, and it's the thick, full-fat yogurt.
Yeah. I think though what you say about the mint and stuff like that, cooking is supposed to be fun, you know, and you're supposed to enjoy it and make things to how you like them and not how you're supposed to like them or how they're supposed to be cooked or anything like that. Just do what you like. As long as you enjoy it, that's the main thing, isn't it? That's what I think. You know, don't take it too seriously. When people give measurements, like in Greece, you always say, like in Greek cookbooks, you don't really get measurements. They say put a bit of salt in, put a bit of pepper in, a load of this, a load of that, or a bunch of this and a bunch of that. And that's the point, isn't it? Some people like it more salty, some people like different herbs, other people don't.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
Okay, so Alex has decided to nicely chop the garlic. I would have grated it,
yeah.
but it doesn't matter, it just gets the same result in the end. Or if you've got a garlic crusher, same thing. Whatever works. You need relatively small pieces. So, sorry to lean over you, but I'm going to take, oops, no, it's got this one, I'm going to take this one. So I'm going to take the cucumber that we've grated, put that in the bowl. It's all in there. And the yogurt. Nice and thick, as you can see. Okay, and then the garlic will go in. I think we're about there now, aren't you, Alex? It's good.
Yep. And yes, we will send the recipe that we said about the Easter biscuits that we showed in the video before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We will send that.
Okay,
So this is where we are at the moment. And salt and pepper.
yeah. Bit of salt, pepper, sorry. move the salt out the way, so this is definitely the sugar out the way, so this is definitely salt.
Okay. Olive oil.
Let's not do organic. Olive oil.
Okay.
Just a bit. And vinegar. Red wine vinegar I've got here. Okay, I only put a little
Really?
bit. Just put a bit, we'll taste it, and then maybe add some more.
Anyway, so this is one of them, I think, great combos, tzatziki and stuffed tomatoes, isn't it?
They do work very, very well together.
It's just
With
with,
feta cheese, of course.
yeah. That's the thing, is about, we say a lot of the time about Greek cooking and Greek food, is that when we do the cooking classes, we talk about not only learning to cook Greek food or to cook like Greek people, but the point is to learn how to eat like Greek people as well. So tzatziki is usually a good example to just, there's nothing right or wrong, but just to say about the differences. So if Greek people go out, so like usually when people come here on holiday, you have a tzatziki as a starter, and then you have your mains, maybe dessert, whatever. When Greek people go out, they never ever order tzatziki as a starter. The way they do it is they sort of order everything together. And why do they do that? Because if you have, for example, a meat dish, or if you order stuffed tomatoes as a main or whatever like that, you're gonna mix it all together, and it sort of all works together, it all complements each other. The same thing if you need to have feta on the table, you need to have a salad as a main also, and not as a starter, because they all work together. And once you start figuring that out, I think you can really enjoy Greek food a whole lot more. Do you agree with that?
100%, Alex. Everything you say.
I'm just asking.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Let's say there's no right or wrong at all, but
That's good.
yeah.
Yeah.
And with the tzatziki, we've got to remember, don't we, that it matures, the flavor matures over time. So ideally, you would make this quite a bit beforehand, like the day before is perfect. A few hours before is fine also.
Yeah, you did be a little bit careful with the garlic and the salt. If you might taste it and think it doesn't have enough salt in it or enough garlic, but believe me, in 1 hour after you've left it, it'll taste different again. So
Yeah.
just be a little bit cautious.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So that's it, ready?
That's it.
Yeah,
Ready,
okay,
ready
so
to go.
let's just say a few hellos to the comments section, and then we can maybe think about a little bit what we're going to do next week, because we don't decide, we just wait to see what people are asking for and this and that, and then we go for the most popular demand most of the time. What does the vinegar do? Andy is asking.
Just changes the flavour a little bit. Doesn't
Yeah,
it? Just
some people put lemon, don't they, as well? You know,
a bit of acidity.
but it definitely need vinegar there. Ioannidis, hello sir, hope you're well. Taru says it was an honest mistake. There is no honest mistake when it comes to Turkish and Greek yogurt. Okay. Mel says your tzatziki recipes are a huge hit here. That's very, very great to hear. Thanks very much for letting us know, and it makes it all worthwhile what we're doing. And they've booked to come back next June.
Ooh.
Awesome. So hopefully, yeah,
Yeah, I hope so.
I
really hope so.
it'll all come back to good
Yeah.
soon.
Power of positive thinking.
Neil and Mandy said hello also. I think it was a little bit further up. I didn't get a chance to see them. Oh yeah, there we go. Stephen Henderson. Big hello to you. Okay. I don't know, anything else you want to talk about, you want to share with the lovely people?
I'll just say I hope everybody's had a good Easter last week, that celebrated last week. Happy Easter to everybody that's celebrating the Orthodox Easter, or the Catholic Easter.
Yeah.
Hope everybody's managing to keep their spirits up and stay positive in these slightly challenging times.
Yes.
And wish
all
safe and love and health and happiness to everybody.
And we'll see you again next Thursday. And we'll be posting on Facebook what we're doing. Post your pictures if you've cooked this dish or when you cook it.
We'll be posting our picture.
And we'll be posting our picture later on. Thank you very, very much for watching. Lots of love, kisses and hugs. Take it easy and hopefully see you next week. Thank you very, very much.